Studio weekend estimates, and this is for box office. So studio weekend estimates, The Batman's open to 128. Did I call it The Batman's?
Yes.
It opens to 128.5 million as first Warner Brothers film with theatrical exclusivity since August 2020. Tenet. What's funny about this? I was first of all, I love Tenet. I know that it's not considered one of Nolan's best films, but for some reason I thought this came out in 2021. I don't know why, because he was kind of like, people were kind of heralding Nolan as like he was going to be the savior of the box office. He was going to be the one to bring it back into power again. But that seems like, knowing what we know now, that seems kind of foolish considering just how long ago. Like, I mean, we had just gotten underway in 2020. Little did we know how much pandemic there was left to go. With that, so that it's just that surprised me how long ago that was. So it says Warner Brothers' latest iteration of one of its iconic superhero franchises, Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson as the title character, took 128.5 million in the domestic theatrical box office this weekend. I think we predicted anywhere between 115 and 120, so it exceeded the expectations, at least slightly. Did you think it was going to exceed the box office, or did you think it was going to come in like on the low end?
I think it would succeed like over the amount that we thought it was going to be, because like it's Batman, it's Robert Pattinson.
What we're learning now, though, if you look down here, it says this marks this marks the pandemic era's second best opening, behind only Spider-Man: No Way Home, which opened to $260.1 million. So I think this officially puts Spider-Man ahead of Batman as far as global success, and I didn't. That was not the case for me growing up. For most people growing up, I don't think so. Directed by Matt Reeves, he did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes, and Cloverfield. The dark and gritty take also co-stars Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman and Andy Serkis as Butler Alfred Pennyworth, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Paul Dano as the Riddler, and the unrecognizable Colin Farrell as the Penguin. So it goes down here, but I thought there's some interesting numbers here that I really like here. So it says the opening weekend finishes behind several other recent Batman titles, all of them sequels, a factor that's to be expected when a studio relaunches a franchise when compared to other movies starring the Caped Crusader. The Batman debuted, so it was 19% behind The Dark Knight in 2008, which opened to 158.4, 20% below 2012's The Dark Knight Rises, which opened to 160 million. I'm actually surprised how close The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight were in box office. I would have expected The Dark Knight Rises to ride the success of The Dark Knight to a much higher opening. And then 22% below the 2016 Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice with 166 million. Now, notice that none of these are adjusted for inflation, so those numbers would likely be much higher if they were to be counted today. However, this is good. It says, however, it did start 36% above the most recent Batman movie, the Justice League in 2017. But that movie was like a shit show from the beginning, and nobody thought that movie was going to do well. So it says a full recap of the box office history is down here. And then so it says these are other March titles with a similar high budget titles. So Beauty and the Beast opened to 174 million in 2017. Captain Marvel opened to 153 million, so it couldn't even beat Captain Marvel. That's too bad. And 2012's Hunger Games with 152 million, so it didn't beat any of these movies. It says chasing pre-pandemic levels, including all of the other movies, not just the Batman this weekend, marks only the second frame of the pandemic era, which exceeds the box office of the equivalent frame from 2019, the last full pre-pandemic year. So we go down all the way. And then they mentioned the pricing strategy that we talked about the other day. It says North America's largest cinema exhibition circuit debuted a surcharge for the Batman across all locations. Showtimes have often had variable pricing, such as lower costs for early afternoon matinees, lower than what you pay when you go at night. People plan for that if they can. It says the strategy risked alienating some audiences, but the backlash was muted when it came down to the weekend figures. 8 AMC locations ranked amongst the top 10 title earnings for theaters in the domestic market. So it did very well, and I think everything okay?
Yeah,
okay.
Everything's okay. Sorry, I'm just like scratching
Okay.
some pace off of it.
All right. So I know you're not. I know this stuff doesn't interest you, but it interests me.
No, I think it's cool that you're interested by it, because I didn't know like there's like a whole mathematic thing to go. Well, obviously I did know because like money has to go somewhere. But I didn't realize like if you scroll down the top locations, US/. Canada, I didn't realize there was a TCL Chinese theater.
I don't know
Like,
what TCL is.
It's a Chinese theater in
okay.
downtown LA. I didn't know they played movies there.
Interesting.
I thought it was just for show.
Okay. So it says, so we go down here for I want to go all the way down, and then we'll just talk over the rest of the how it did in theaters elsewhere. So second place was Uncharted with 11 million, beating both after leading both the prior 2 weeks. So it did well for 2 weeks, as we expected. We knew it wasn't going to stand up next to the Batman. That's what happens in these situations. Spider-Man No Way Home is still in the box office. It says, think any new Spider-Man, think a new superhero movie entering the market would plummet the one other superhero movie already playing. Think again, Spider-Man No Way Home actually experienced the mildest decline amongst the weekend's top 10 films, drawing only a 24% drop from the week before. Still ranking 4th place in its 12th frame, so it's 12th week in theaters with another 4.4 million. Spider-Man No Way Home now has all 12 of its weekends in the top 10. That eclipses 2017 Spider-Man's No Way Home, which spent 11 weekends in the top tier. So it's it hasn't left the top 10 in 3 months?
Yeah.
Three full months. So we go down here. So it says the Batman drew 128,500,000. It opened to 4,417 locations. That's about $29,092 per location is what they're saying. It says then we go Uncharted, which had a 52% drop, which is fairly sizable, and lost 400 theaters, but still brought in $11 million. Dog took third. I almost would have expected like Spider-Man to look. Dog and Spider-Man were actually. I actually kind of made a prediction to myself. I thought Spider-Man might outpace Dog this weekend, and I thought that would have been pretty crazy considering Dog is only in its 3rd week. But it beat Spider-Man by $2 million only though. So Dog brought in $6 million. That's a 41% drop, and it's still at 3,500 theaters. That's a 320 theater drop. About $1,700 per theater. About $2,839 per theater for Uncharted.
Yeah.
So both of those movies, I'm actually surprised, are actually doing pretty well. And I mean, Dog's not going to win any awards, and it's not going to be a huge box office success, but it's it's holding steady in there. Spider-Man No Way Home surpasses Death on the Nile, which we've got more news about later. But 4,400,000, just a 24% drop. It's still at 2,709 theaters. It's still playing at the Warehouse where we go to see movies.
Yeah.
So, and that's 293 theater drop only, and an average of about $1,624 per theater. So Spider-Man No Way Home is almost identical in its per theater average as Dog, despite one being out for 3 weeks and the other one being out for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Then we've got Jackass Forever, Death on the Nile, Sing 2, it feels like we've been seeing the same movies, because we haven't hit the summer season yet, where more movies will be coming out week to week and things won't spend as long in this box office range.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what we've got now. I meant to pull this up earlier, but I forgot to because that is me. So we are just coming out of March 4th weekend. And then we don't have any big ones next weekend except Tyson's Run, which I don't really have any interest in going and seeing. It says when 15-year-old Tyson attends public school for the first time, his life has changed forever while helping his father clean up after the football team. Tyson befriends champion marathon runner Aklilu, never letting his autism hold him back. Tyson's become determined to run his first marathon in hopes of winning his father's approval. That's kind of a heartwarming story, but it's not something I necessarily would go see at a theater. I might wait for that one to come out on streaming. It does have Rory Cochrane in it, who I'm a huge fan of, but I don't know if this is one that I'm necessarily going to go spend, theater level money on to go see. Then we go down here. We don't have another major release. We have one on the 18th. We have Uma, and we have The Outfit. Uma was the one that you were talking about with...
It's not pronounced Uma. It's Oma.
Well, I don't know that. Oma. Oma, and that's the one with that's not Sandra Oh. So that comes out. Is that a Korean film or is it
no? It's an American film
based on a Korean character.
No, she's like a Korean American, and it's based on like a Korean folklore.
Okay. Is it a horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically,
the cover says it all, right?
Yeah. Basically, like she tries to escape from her mom, but she's the only person that her mom has left in the world. So when she dies, like basically her mom's like haunting her.
I'm assuming you're not really a horror movie fan, right? So
No, but I think this is really cool
okay.
to think about it because like she has a daughter of her own.
Who does the character? You mean the character
that
okay.
Sandra Oh plays?
Okay. So it's like 3 generations of. Okay. So it's just, which is the Korean word for mother. Follows Amanda, played by Oh, and her daughter living a quiet life on an American farm. But when the remains of her estranged mother arrive from Korea, Amanda becomes haunted by the fear of turning into her own mother. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like a metaphor in there as well. We've got, and then also coming out the same weekend is The Outfit, which that is an English tailor makes beautiful clothes for the only people around who can afford them, a family of vicious gangsters. That's kind of cool. Mark Rylance is good. Dylan O'Brien is good. Graham Moore.
It sounds kind of boring.
I don't know. That depends. Is it supposed to be a historical piece? Is it supposed to be I'd have to watch the trailer for it. Maybe we watch the trailer and get blown away by it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that could be interesting. I kind of. It looks like it's more supposed to be like an Oscar or like some type of period piece. So that could be good. So we really don't. And then Jujutsu Kaisen comes out, but that's not a nationwide release. That's limited run.
No, the movie theater that we're going, they have it. So
okay.
Do you want to go watch it?
Possibly. Brian might want to go. Or actually, Dane might want to go see that. So, and then we don't really have any big competition for I don't think Uma or The Outfit or Tyson's Run are going to dethrone Batman. I just don't. So it's got a clear path to victory up until The Lost City, which comes out on March 25th. That's the one with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. And I don't really. It lists Brad Pitt in there and Daniel Radcliffe. Okay. Pitt's making a comeback. Bullet Train and all that stuff. So we'll see. It's got a clear path up until this. I'm assuming the Lost City movie is based on like something. It sounds too.
The Lost City, could it be talking about Atlantis?
Must be.
Could it be talking about some other legendary tales?
Yes. So it says So reclusive author Loretta Sage, played by Sandra Bullock, has spent her career writing about exotic places in her popular romance adventure novels featuring handsome cover model Alan, played by Channing Tatum.
Oh, I know what this is. They already made this movie.
What was it called?
It's the same thing. Basically, same synopsis where...
Different actors?
Yep.
How long ago?
Mid-2000s.
Okay, now I'm curious.
I forgot what the actress...
I mean, I'm very clearly not the target demographic for anything like that, so...
Yeah, but it's not called the Lost City, but it's the same lady who plays in The Mummy.
Which Mummy?
There
was a 2005 Andy Garcia movie called The Lost City.
It might... I don't know.
Not The Lost City of Z?
Let me see. Because, like, there is a movie where, like, she has agoraphobia, the main character.
Okay.
And, like, the only person she talks to is this character that she wrote in a romance and / adventure novel. And, like...
Agoraphobic writer talks to who?
To a character that she made.
They did a House episode like this as well. Let's see. Nim's Island?
Wait, click on it. Maybe it might be it. Can you zoom in the photo?
Well, I'm just going to look it up. I'll look it up on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's from 2008, so that seems like about the time you were talking about. I never saw it.
Yeah.
Nim's Island. Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster, Gerard Butler... Abigail Breslin. Wow, she must have been young in that. Mark Brady. I mean, it looks like what you're describing.
Oh, yeah, it's this one.
Okay.
It's this one.
A young girl inhabits an isolated island with her scientist father and communicate with a reclusive author of the novel she's reading. I mean, I wouldn't...
It's this one, but like at the end, like the author, like she ends up staying with them because she falls in love with the father.
Of course. So it's a Hallmark movie with a sizable budget. I don't think you can get Gerard Butler to do Hallmark movies most of the time. So
Yeah, but basically they already made this movie.
they already did.
Yeah, they already made it, and I don't really like Sandra Bullock.
We've kind of crapped on. I mean, not on purpose, but she's kind of come up when we had that article we covered about her. Like,
Well,
whining.
there's another article where she complains about her black son and she was afraid of him, and I was like, "It's your son, though."
Oh boy.
Yeah, I sent you that article, but you didn't want to talk about it.
I probably seemed a little bit spicy at the time. We hadn't really found our voice here on the show.
Yeah, but she was complaining about her black son, and I'm like, you're the one who adopted him.
That's extremely racist of her.
Yeah, like she said, I felt so afraid, and I'm like, dude, you adopted him when he was a baby. He should be fine.
Are you sure that's what she meant by that?
No, they legit said it in the
I'm
article.
saying, but she didn't mean like she's afraid like of what's going to happen to him in life.
No, she was afraid of him.
Okay, wow, that's let's just move on then, because that's just a creepy thing, and I don't want to make the first segment of our episode creepy, because
I just don't
Sandra
like
Bullock, going to Sandra Bullock, she can do that. That's her.
I just don't like Sandra Bullock, but they already made this movie basically.
Yep.
But is she adventuring by herself?
Did you ever see that? No, I think it's in the new one. No, it's her and Channing Tatum.
Well, no, I mean like, if you remove Channing Tatum, is it just by herself?
Let's find. Like, oh, you mean like no daughter?
Like no daughter, like she's just adventuring to an island by herself.
See, it says a look at the Lost Island. Oh, okay, it says brilliant but reclusive author Loretta Sage. I mean, is she gonna have kids if she's reclusive and agoraphobic? Sandra Bullock has spent her career writing about exotic places in her popular romance novels featuring handsome cover model Alan, played by Channing Tatum, who has dedicated his life to embodying the hero character of Dash. While on tour promoting her new book with Alan, Loretta is kidnapped by an eccentric billionaire played by Daniel Radcliffe, who hopes that she can lead him to the ancient lost city's treasure from her latest story. Wanting to prove that he can be a hero in real life and not just on the pages of her books, Alan sets off to rescue her. Thrust into an epic jungle adventure. Can it really be called a jungle adventure if The Rock isn't in it? I don't think so.
Maybe Channing Tatum is the new Rock.
He like transforms into him, like the end of that scene from.
But did you already mention that Brad Pitt is in this movie?
Yes, dude, he's making we're getting the Pitt comeback. He's going to become it was a pit stop. Now we're getting back on the on the fame train. But thank you. So I mean, in this it looks like Sandra Bullock is probably not going to end up with Daniel Radcliffe in the movie if he's the bad guy. Plus, like, there's a pretty sizable age difference there that might be. But Channing Tatum and her, I mean, that's a pretty classic story, right? The author falls in love with the muse or whatever. So we'll see.
Oh, he's a real person.
What do you mean?
I thought it was like all in her head.
It's like he like does the promo for like the he's like the cover model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
Those abs are too real.
I know. I was like, hold on. Is she imagining like a person saving her the whole time? That would have been more funnier in my head.
Just all a huge acid trip. That'd be cool. Okay.
Like she's imagining this whole thing and she writes it down in the novel.
Well, that could be done. And realistically, if this was the real world, the person coming to save you isn't going to look like Channing Tatum. Let's just be real. You're not going to get that lucky.
Nope, but he looks like Danny DeVito.
No, he does not. That is not true, and you know it's not true.
I know, but it would be funny. Somebody like Danny's like.
Yeah, you're like, oh, save me, and it ends up being like Danny DeVito or like I don't know who else would it be?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah. See, you just get like instead of being saved by a handsome guy, you just get saved by an old guy with a really crazy widow's peak. That's how the real world would work.
Yeah.
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 You don't get to be saved and get abs. You don't get both. You can have one or the other. You can die with the guy with the abs, or you can be saved by a guy who looks like, like he fixes your cable.
Larry the Cable Guy coming soon.
Perfect. That's exactly.
Oh my God, they already made a movie like that where he's an action hero, but I love it. Like anything that Larry the Cable Guy touches, I kind of love it. It's like trashy movies that I love binging.
Well, there you go. It's like what is like the Quarterings, like he's like my favorite movie is like Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed to admit it. So it is what it is, man. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.